land-based is always like the hardest and most physically draining, mentally draining sport. Like it was always like the buzz. Like you'd hear of someone getting a good fish, or you'd see someone hook a good fish, and you wouldn't sleep that night because you'd be like just thinking about it the whole time. It's just the top of the food chain for like any sort of fishing. Like you hear good land, like there's tuna around or marlin around, you scrap anything to fish for that, because that's like the holy grail of any type of fishing. Especially like game fishing, like the hardest possible way to catch a game fish is from the rocks. Yeah, so you need some sort of wash so you can actually get a drift, otherwise your bait would just sit at the rocks teabag and you won't get it out into where the fish are coming through half the time. You need that perfect little bit of wash just so you can drop a bait in and just help it sit right on the edge of the wash, and then the fish will come through and feed on the back of the wash. If you're going to do a trip, you've got to make sure the weather's right, otherwise you're going to get up here and it's going to be shit like this. But it's going to be one step ahead. Don't trust willy weather. Yeah, well if it's too big you can't land a fish, there's no point fishing. Like, you can't land a fish in that. It's going to get rolled up the rocks and popped off. It's pointless.
I mean, you never really know what it's going to be like. Like, you might think it's going to be perfect conditions and then all of a sudden it just changes. So, yeah. Before I got into land-based, I grew up with my dad. He was always taking me out on the boat for like flatties and snapper and stuff, so I did a lot of that. And then I moved into hunting, and I was hunting for deer and pigs and kangaroos and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it was fun. Oh, I grew up going and doing camping and hunting and fishing and all that stuff, and I just love it. Like, I like being outdoor and in nature, and yeah, I guess that's why I started doing landscaping, because I'm always outdoors and I'm always doing something, and yeah. Are you going to use a metal?
Yeah.
Yeah? I might use a metal on my sinking stick bait.
Have you got the metals?
Yeah.
Where's that 85? Blue one. There, on the bottom. If it's too rough, you won't catch bait, and your only option really is to spin. But getting out here later in the day, you're going to get your bait up this way just on light. So we're pushing it for actually catching bait anyway, so we might as well just spin.
Do you want to test my knot, because I haven't re-rigged and...
From the tailor?
Yeah.
Whoa. X-ray. I didn't realise it was that far up.
No.
I would have thought this sort of pushed it all out by now.
No. Can't see it, it's too washy.
Ah. That cuts alright.
It's not as bad as I thought though.
Yeah.
Oh, how's the redweed on it?
There's some redweed. That's not good, is it?
Nah.
Yeah, it's a bit of a write-off. Sticks to absolutely everything. Your bait jigs, braid, anything that touches the water. And I don't think fish like breathing it in either. And we got one day of Salvely thinking it's going to push it out, and it's just pushed it all to the bottom. So we might have to go somewhere else. It's a write-off. Couldn't be any worse. Nah, she taught herself FGs. Probably does them better than me, to be honest. I hate tying FGs. I tie back-to-back uni half the time. Yeah, I just rock up. That's about it.
Pretty much. I think heaps of people think it's the other way around, to be honest.
Yeah. I met Lani 4 years ago, and the first date we went on, we went fishing out the local edge where we get bonito, and Lani brought a squid jig and she caught a snapper on a squid jig, and we were blowing out on that, choked itself to death. And then ever since then, all our holidays revolved around fishing, and I've been fishing harder than ever because Lani loves it, so I've been getting more fish than ever thanks to Lani, because she wants to come all the time.
Out though to the other path.
Yeah, we'll go have a look here first.
That looks really good.
As. I sorry, I just seen something over there, but I don't know, I think we're gonna.
The water's heaps clear. Yeah.
Oh yeah, bird.
Oh,
nah, I thought it was
bird.
a bust up. There's obviously bait there. Down the coast there's a couple of short ones, but normally it's a bit of walking in it. all part of the fun.
Yeah.
We used to always push a pram out here with our gear in it.
I don't know if that's easier though.
The pram?
Yeah.
You don't have your backpack on, you just push it out. Probably look a bit weird with me and Lani going out together pushing a pram up.
Growing up with my dad, he used to always take me down to like the rivers and the lakes and stuff, and like I'd hook up to stingrays and I think it was like the funnest thing ever. They would just be taking line. I'm like, oh my God, it's a big one. But it's like, yeah, it's just a stingray. But yeah, no, I loved it. When I met Kyle, I sort of had the chance to experience a bit more and I don't know, learn like a new style of fishing, and I really enjoyed it. Like I enjoy the traveling and being outdoors, and like even just the hikes and stuff to the location, like it's all really beautiful, and like you have all the birds and stuff going around you, and you get out onto the ledge and there's whales and dolphins, and even when you're not catching fish, like it's nice, like it's enjoyable. You can sit there and you can just relax.
Oh yeah, everyone prioritised land-based fishing over work. Anyone would if they could, that's land-based. Yeah, like if you hear of a bite up north, which you get lucky enough to get a report off, you might want to get up there as fast as you can and try and get it the next day before the water rolls or whatever and the redweed comes back in. Same thing on the south coast, like you might be fishing for longtails out the front one day and the boys will be catching marlin in the bays, and it's just the next day to pack up and get in there, like not miss your chance.
It's like perfect, like
You got colour.
country music.
It's like dead still today.
Yeah, it looks good.
Well, I think it's Wesley actually. Look at that. I think heaps of people do land-based just because it's easy to access and they can't go on a boat. But then you'll get people that like do land-based because they want the challenge. They don't want to catch one on the boat. They don't want to go out and catch 10 marlin a day. They want that feeling, that build-up, like to that the emotion of like hooking something. And then it's just so many days. Like there's obviously way more fishless days than there is even hooking anything or seeing a fish. Sometimes you'll go down fish for marlin one year, there won't be a fish hooked, you won't see anything. And then the only thing that keeps you going down is the stories and the photos of the history of the places that you fish to keep you like that little buzz, to just keep it in your head and imagine and dream it's going to happen.
Sometimes getting to the ledges is the challenge. Like there's ledges that you have to go to and you have to abseil into, or they're just big long hikes, and like obviously you're doing early mornings and late days, so that all sort of builds up over time, and doing that every single day until you get a fish, it's very overwhelming, but once you get a fish, it's well worth it. Like, it makes up for all of that. Feeling confident. A bit better than the past couple of days, I reckon. I think it's just because we're more comfortable out here.
And you can't see them, so the
Yeah.
confidence is always there. I do trust Lani's knots. I don't really like letting anyone tie my knots, but she has to.
Yeah, I have to. I don't really have a
up.
choice. It doesn't do anything for me, so. Which is good, because you've got to learn some way. I mean, otherwise I'd just be down here having everyone do everything for me. And
Different rig to catch a bait here. Burley up at your feet, and you drop the float in and hold it in the burley, and it's just hundreds of yakkers right at your feet. You don't bounce along the bottom because you'll get snagged. You get snagged, deeper water, more reef. It's a bit different setup.
yeah, done the job. Oh no, I always do it. Sort of just watched everyone else doing it, so I sort of just went and picked it up and had a go. I mean, like, it's scary at first, like it's easy stuff, but it's scary at first, and then once you've done it a couple of times, it just gets easier.
You'll set up in the morning and like, there's no point setting up like your live bait rod if you haven't already caught bait. So you prioritise catching bait before you worry about other things. You don't put a bait out if you don't have the gaff set up, because if you get a fish like a king or something and it comes straight to your feet, you're going to lose it. So everything has to be like done like in order if you want to take it seriously and not risk losing something that you've spent so much time trying to fish for.
That's a big one, eh? Yeah, he was smoking it. Bonito. You get plenty of these. They get bigger though. Pretty common, yeah, around this time of year. There's usually a fair few of them. Start to see more of them around like December. But yeah, no, they're fun. Well, I get pretty dedicated on species. Like when I want to catch something, I'll make sure that I get it. Like I won't stop until I catch it. When I moved down to Ulladulla for work, I was telling Kyle that I really wanted to get like a massive flathead. I said a metre, but...
You said a metre, yeah.
I said a metre, but he told me it wasn't going to happen, and I kept going every single afternoon after work, and I just fished for hours and hours.
When she said she was moving down to Ulladulla, there's a certain spot there where it's renowned for big flathead, and she said, I want to get a metre flathead. I said, you're not going to get a metre one. I said, you might be lucky to get an 80 or a 90. I said, people fish for that their whole life and they don't get a metre flathead. And then, surely enough, she rings me up, bawling her eyes out, drenched in water, wearing jeans, standing in the water, like FaceTime with this massive flatty. I seen the head on it. I've never seen anything like it. I was like, oh, there's no doubt at all that it's like very close at least. And then she went home with the measurements, and then yeah, there was just slightly over a metre almost. Bang on.
Eventually I got one after many, many casts. I finally got one and I was stoked. I called Kyle and I was on FaceTime and I was like crying, and oh, it was epic. No, I usually do all the cooking and stuff out on the rocks. Kyle just sort of fishes the entire time, but it sort of makes up for it because sometimes he'll catch like all the bait, and I'll rig up, and then I'll do the cooking. I don't think Kyle does anything really but fish, to be honest. Oh.
It's got hooked the bonito or something now. Gee. Yeah, everything sneaks through, so you just got to deal with the 1,000 bonito and rats to try and hook one, because you just don't know when they're coming past. But you get good kings and marlin here too. But today, it's longtail season. Rat. We'll release that one. They get in plagues, the old rat king. If you hook them on light gear, they'll just do ya. Realistically, on the south coast, it's kings and marlin is all you're really targeting. Longtails have only really come into the scene as something you can like actually target and have a good shot at in the last 3 to 4 years. Prior to that, my whole life growing up, I think I've seen one on the rocks. So this is just a whole new thing. So every time you see a longtail in particular on the south coast, it's just like the craziest thing ever, because you just never pictured it. And then like normally you would have to go up to the north coast and chase that, and you go up there and chase your Spanish and your cobia and stuff like that. Like, you'd have to push yourself and do a bit of traveling up there, and then yeah, you just try and get your species in. It's kind of like Pokemon. Like, you gotta like try and get all the different ones. It's like a little like satisfying thing to like go and get all the different fish. I think land-based is probably like the most unfair sport in the world, because like there's so many baits in the water, you can never guarantee that you're going to hook up. Like, it's always going to be some punter, and it's going to humble you up pretty quick when some punter comes down, puts a bait out and gets an enormous marlin, and it just comes straight in. Like, that's all part of it. And like, you can only like really aim for realistic goals. Like, you don't go and try and get a world record fish, because you get what you're given. It's just, it is what it is. Like, you got to enjoy the sport and appreciate your captures, and like aim for your own personal things and your mates' ones, and just be happy for everyone. Yeah, that's him. Oh, mate's hooked up on braid. I'm going straight for him. I'm done. What direction, Jot? Are you over the top? Sorry, mate, just go check that we're not touching. You alright? I don't think we're alright, but if you can, are you stopped? You can pump it to the left. You good? You good?
Did we grab the gaff?
Yeah, it's been a long day. And we've caught about 3,000 bonito. And then we've just hooked to something that looks like it might be tail wrap.
Is it coming in?
But see how we go. A bit shaky. It's very high in the water there. It's come back straight. Big run. I think I can see it out there on the top.
That's the one!
Oh, it feels good, but it's scary. There's still a long way to go, yeah? Anything can happen. It's not tail wrap, because it's hiking back. Brody and Jamie just got one each of the tubes.
Really?
Yeah. I was literally just telling Ben.
I heard that, I didn't realise. Like, he's still out pretty far.
Yeah, it took a lot of line, eh?
Boy!
Oh, look at that rooster tail off the back of it. It's a good one, eh?
You put so much time into it, and you're just sitting there waiting for a fish, and then you finally see him and you get so excited. Like, the adrenaline just goes straight through you. Like, as soon as I hook up, my knees like start to shake and my hands get all shaky and you get all sweaty, and yeah, it's exciting. I'm very excited, very happy. I mean, it's not in yet, but still, just to hook one. Me gaffing it on the high ledge is a bit sketchy.
You rather gaff it on the high ledge? There's just no bombies down the bottom over there.
If I fall in, that'll be it.
Just here on the top.
He is. He's here on the top.
It's not a bad fish.
It's not bad.
Just go when I say go, Lani.
Yep. I don't want to rush it. I think I'm shaking just as much as you are. I'm worried that I'm gonna gaff his line and he's gonna pop off. Like, it's scary for you too, as much as it is for him, because you don't want to be the person to stuff that up. Like, they have the fish right there at their feet and they can see it, and then if you make a wrong call and hit their line and it's gone, well, it's sort of on you.
Just wait till it comes past you.
Yeah.
Don't go in front of the trace. Can you get him?
Wait, the wave. You get him back up here in that same angle again.
All right, it's all right, it's all right, it's all right.
Can't see him.
I know.
Bring him up on the top.
Remember, don't go behind the trace. Go over here. Go over, now smack him. Oh, it's not in very deep. No way!
I thought I was going to miss him.
start, dude. Good job. Well done.
Oh, that's such a relief.
Thank you, good job. First gaff shot, well done. Well done.
Oh, first longy gaff shot. It's a relief after not catching anything. It's good.
Had the pressure on us.
Yeah. Oh, well, it finally all worked out, so.
I don't know about running out of stamina. My heart was beating faster than anything else, I think.
First gaff shot in a longy too.
Yeah, I'm proud of you. Well done. Killed it.
Oh, I was so worried. I thought it was going to.
It was a weird fight. That was a like big run, like
Suffered
North
all
Coast style fight, but then it started doing its arcs in close and the challenge and pushing yourself and getting bonita after bonita, and you think it's never going to happen, and then it happens. It just makes it 20 times more special than it does if you're expecting it to happen, especially if it's down here when these things aren't really supposed to be around, which makes it even more special again. For tuna fishing these days on the south coast, since the yellowfin disappeared, that's about as good as it gets.
I thought we weren't going to catch anything.
Shit.
Oh my God, thank God.
Oh.
Are you alright? Overwhelmed.
Jervis Bay in particular is probably like the richest land-based history and probably, or definitely all of Australia and possibly in the world. It's like the way it's set up on the coast and the way the East Australian current comes down, it hits the front of the bay and back eddies in, and it's just like almost like a perfect fish trap for like marlin and tuna and stuff. So like you see some weird stuff in there, you see sunfish and things like manta rays and stuff, and you're down way past Sydney, like things that you just never expect to see. It's a guy got his broadbill swordfish, a mate of mine last year, and like just dolphin fish and just things that are just whacked out. Like you just never know what's going to happen, especially at the tubes. Same people every time, 90% of the time, more than 90% of the time. Always the same crew. Doesn't matter where you go really, but same crazy crew. First started coming here when I was 11. I'm what, 28 now? 17 years, yeah.
Now I've got my 24 kilo set up, so hopefully I might get a bonito or a legal king, and I can hook that on and chuck one out. And I might get a shark or I might get a marlin, I don't know. Might not get anything, which is what happens most of the time, so.
Dad would tell me about stories of like his first trip down here, and he got to meet a guy that fished down here. He come down here and he got spooled his first day because he wore like back in the day when the yellowfin around, and it was like Dad would tell me about that, and we'd just like think about that, or like so half the time you're just sitting there telling fishing stories anyway. So you just keep them in your head and just keep like picturing that, just keep pushing yourself to think of how crazy it'd be for that to happen.
I've been coming down here for 40 years now, and I've dragged the boys along ever since they were born. And when they're old enough to put a fishing rod in their hand, I've had one in and had them with me. Introduced to here by another person who was a good game fisherman, and then it got me into the game fishing, and then I was inspired by the big fish we were catching, and it's a highly addictive sport. Once you start getting big fish, you want to keep catching them. Kyle, in particular, when we first started spinning for fish, you know what I mean, and spinning up frigate mackerel, he took to it like a duck to water. He absolutely loved it, and then from then on, he just pushed and pushed and pushed until the boys have far outdone what I've done now. They've progressed with better gear, better techniques, and been dedicated probably more so than I was, Kyle. And they've outgrown me now. I'm too old and I can't keep up.
PUBG for me, it's a challenge of like, you know, being planted on the ground. You don't have anything to assist you. It's just you versus fish. Like, it's as hard as it gets, really. And then, you know, hooking the fish is only half of it. Like the time and effort that goes into just to hook, like at the tubes here, hook a marlin. It took me 13 years to hook my first one. And then, yeah, just the feeling when you actually accomplish it, it's next level. Can't really explain it.
I think I landed my first one when I was 16 and it was hooked in the side, so I had to get on a boat and pull it up from the boat and drag it on the rocks, which was sick. It was like over 100 kilo, but I never got that fight, I never got to get it to the rocks, and ended up getting a few more marlin, but it was never like that dream 100+ kilo fish, like that massive fish, and then finally eventually ended up hooking the perfect fish.
Coming up. Here we go, boys.
I knew it was over 100 kilo, I knew it was big, and I got the fight, like the hour-long fight, like of the fish like doing backflips and going around the point and people holding your line up and then going through the boulders and you're trying to figure out whether it's on the edge or not, free spawning it back around, going around in circles and circles and circles. Like you want to be pushed, you want to be hurt, you want to be like, you want to be tested for everything that you've learned over the years and to get that full satisfaction of when you land a fish. Like, that pressure to like get the full relief to know that that's the one. Like you tell yourself like that's the one, I'm done, like that's it.
Yay! The size of that. Come.
Coming at ya!
This is it, Kyle. Here he is! Yes! Keep on it, Kyle. Keep on it.
Let's change directions here in front. You might want to keep someone on the south end.
Jill's there.
Doubles here now.
Doubles.
Hey, he's coming.
Coming this way.
Oh,
Yes. What's the line? Yes. Yes.
And I was sitting there, I was shaking, and we were excited, and we were all giving each other hugs, and yeah, I swear Kyle's heart stopped. Like,
Oh yeah, I had a big pain in the chest, like a big, like something hit me in the chest. And
yeah,
I stopped. I don't know what it
I
was.
thought we nearly had to call the hospital.
And are you done?
No.
No. He caught that, and then the next day. he
Oh,
wanted
fish
to go.
15 kilo now, so I won't put a bait out on 24 kilo now until we get one on 15 kilo.